Have you ever looked at your software subscriptions and wondered why, despite having the best tools money can buy, your sales and marketing teams are still arguing over lead quality? You aren't alone. As companies scale, they often fall into the trap of solving problems by throwing more software at them. This leads to what we call the Frankenstack, a patchwork of disconnected tools that don't talk to each other and require manual workarounds to function. The high cost of the Frankenstack. The impact of this technical debt is real and measurable. According to Forbes, roughly 27% of employees feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of apps they use, which actually hurts productivity instead of helping it. When your tools don't sync, your data lives in silos. When data lives in silos, your revenue leaks. You might be generating interest, but you are losing people in the cracks between your marketing automation and your sales CRM. This brings us to a critical crossroads in your growth journey. You know you need professional help to reach the next level, but what kind? Do you hire a marketing agency to polish your brand and write catchy copy? Or do you hire a RevOps consultant to fix the underlying engine? The choice between technical consulting and a creative agency isn't just a matter of preference. It's about identifying whether your current bottleneck is visibility or scalability. If you are at the decision stage of your journey, you likely have some momentum, but you can feel the friction in your processes. This guide will help you peel back the layers to see which partner will actually move the needle for your specific business model. The creative agency, masters of the what. When most people think of a marketing agency, they think of the creatives. These are the experts who live and breathe brand identity, storytelling, and aesthetic appeal. They are the masters of the what your brand looks like, what it says, and what people feel when they see your logo in their feed. Core competencies of a creative agency. A traditional agency focuses heavily on the top of the funnel, tofu. Their toolkit is designed to grab attention in a crowded marketplace. Key services usually include branding and design, creating a visual language, logos, and style guides that resonate with your target audience. Content production, writing blog posts, white papers, scripts, and social media captions. Ad management, running PPC campaigns and paid social to drive raw traffic to your site. Social media, building community, managing reputations, and driving engagement on platforms like LinkedIn or Instagram. When is an agency the right choice? If your CRM is set up perfectly, your workflows are humming, your data is clean, and your sales team is simply sitting around waiting for the phone to ring, you need an agency. You need a partner who can generate awareness and fill the top of that funnel. Statistics show that content marketing is a powerful engine. It generates 3x as many leads as outbound marketing while costing about 62% less. However, there is a catch. Creative agencies often operate in a bubble. They might deliver a stunning campaign that generates thousands of clicks, but they often can't tell you how many of those clicks turned into closed-won revenue because they aren't integrated into your back-end systems. They focus on vanity metrics like likes, shares, and impressions. These look great in a colorful monthly report, but they don't always pay the bills or provide a clear picture of your customer acquisition cost, CAC. The rise of the anti-agency buyer. We are currently seeing a major shift in the market toward the anti-agency buyer. This is a business leader who has been burned by flashy presentations that didn't lead to actual ROI. They are tired of paying 5-figure retainers for blog posts that no one reads, or for social media ads that attract the wrong audience. This buyer isn't looking for more creative fluff. They are looking for a system that works predictably and transparently. They don't want a new slogan. They want a functioning sales pipeline. Technical consulting, architects of the how. If a creative agency is the paint on the car, technical consulting is the engine under the hood. In the world of revenue operations, RevOps, a technical consulting partner focuses on the infrastructure that enables marketing, sales, and customer success to operate as a cohesive unit. They aren't worried about the color of your logo. They are worried about whether your lead rotation logic is sending high-value prospects to the right account executive. The role of the RevOps consultant. A RevOps consultant doesn't start with a creative brief. They start with a technical audit. They want to investigate how data flows from a lead magnet into your CRM, how it is enriched, how it is scored, and how it is eventually reported in your financial statements. Unlike an agency that might just use your tools to post content, a technical consultant builds the tools. They are the architects who ensure that your HubSpot or Salesforce instance isn't just a digital Rolodex, but a high-performance database. They specialize in systems architecture, ensuring that your software stack is an asset rather than a liability. Why data integrity is your greatest asset. The biggest value a technical partner brings is data hygiene. It sounds boring until you realize the massive financial cost of getting it wrong. Research from Gartner shows that poor data quality costs organizations an average of $12.9 million per year. When your data is messy, your marketing team sends emails to the wrong people, your sales team calls leads that have already bought, and your leadership team makes decisions based on flawed reports. A technical consulting partner stops the bleeding by integrating systems, connecting your ERP, CRM, and billing software to create a single source of truth. Automating processes, replacing manual data entry with automated workflows that reduce human error and free up your team's time. Lead scoring, building mathematical models to identify which leads are actually ready to buy based on behavioral data. Comparing the two, which one do you need? To make this decision easier, let's look at a side-by-side comparison of how these two partners handle common business challenges. This is where the distinction becomes clear for the decision stage buyer. Feature creative marketing agency, technical RevOps consulting, primary goal, brand awareness and lead volume, efficiency and pipeline velocity. Key metrics, traffic, CTR, engagement, CAC, LTV, conversion rates. Approach campaign-based, the what, systems-based, the how. Tech focus, users of the software, architects of the software. Main output, creative assets, ads, blogs, functional workflows and clean data. A real-world example. The webinar. Imagine you are hosting a high-stakes webinar. A creative agency will design a beautiful registration page, write a compelling invitation email sequence, and run LinkedIn ads to drive signups. They will report on how many people clicked the register button and the cost per registration. A technical consulting partner will ensure that when someone registers, their data is instantly checked against your existing database to see if they are a current customer or a target account. If they are new, the system will enrich their profile with company size and industry data, assign a lead score, and notify the specific salesperson who handles that territory. After the webinar, the consultant ensures that attended versus no-show data is pushed back into the CRM to trigger different follow-up tracks. They then build a dashboard that shows exactly how much pipeline revenue the webinar generated relative to total spend. Both are valuable, but if you have the creative without the technical, you are likely wasting a large portion of your budget on leads that get lost in a manual follow-up process. The hidden risks of the DIY approach. Many business leaders try to bridge the gap themselves. They think, we have smart people, we can just set up HubSpot ourselves. This is a common pitfall that leads to high long-term costs. We often see companies spend months trying to DIY their technical setup, only to realize they've built a system that doesn't scale. This leads to technical debt, a situation where you have to spend twice as much later to hire a technical consultant to undo mistakes made during the initial setup. For example, failing to set up a proper lifecycle stage property early on can make it impossible to run accurate ROI reports a year later without hundreds of hours of manual data cleaning. Setting up a CRM is easy. Setting up a CRM that supports a multi-channel sales process, automated billing, and accurate attribution reporting is hard. A technical partner brings the experience of having seen what works for hundreds of other companies, allowing you to skip the expensive trial and error phase. RevOps as a service versus hiring in-house. Once you decide you need technical consulting, the next question is, do you hire a full-time employee or use a consulting firm? The talent gap and salary realities. The demand for RevOps talent is skyrocketing. According to Glassdoor data, the average salary for a RevOps manager in the United States is well over $100,000 per year, and that doesn't include benefits, taxes, or recruitment costs. Furthermore, a single hire rarely has all the skills you need. You might find someone great at data analysis but poor at software integration, or someone who knows Salesforce but doesn't understand the nuances of marketing automation. The fractional advantage: hiring a technical consulting firm, often called RevOps as a service, gives you access to a whole team of specialists for roughly the same cost as one mid-level in-house hire. You get an architect to design the system, a developer to build the integrations, and an analyst to make sense of the data. This model is also highly scalable. You can ramp up the engagement during a major project, like a CRM migration or a platform overhaul, and scale back once the system is in maintenance mode. This flexibility is key for growing companies that need high-level expertise but don't yet have the budget for a 5-person internal RevOps department. Decision framework: who should you hire? If you are still on the fence, ask yourself these 4 questions to determine your immediate priority. Do I have enough leads? If you have 0 traffic and no one knows your name, you need a creative marketing agency to build awareness. Do I know my customer acquisition cost, CAC? If you can't calculate this accurately because your data is spread across different spreadsheets and tools, you need a RevOps consultant. Is my sales team frustrated? If your reps are complaining that leads are bad or they're wasting hours on manual admin work instead of selling, you have a technical process problem. Am I planning to scale? If you want to double your revenue in the next 12 months, you need technical consulting to ensure your infrastructure won't break under the increased volume. In many cases, the most successful companies eventually use a hybrid approach. They might use an agency for their big creative campaigns, while keeping a technical consulting partner on retainer to ensure the pipes stay clean and the data stays accurate. Building for the future growth is not just about moving faster, it's about moving efficiently. In the modern business landscape, the anti-agency sentiment is growing because leaders realize that creative assets are only as good as the systems that deliver and track them. Technical debt is the silent killer of growth. While creative work attracts the eye, technical consulting builds the spine of the business. This is where Aspiration Marketing provides a unique edge. We understand that you aren't just looking for another vendor to check boxes. You are looking for a partner who understands the deep technicalities of systems architecture and revenue operations. We bridge the gap between creative and technical. Our expertise in RevOps consulting ensures that your HubSpot implementation isn't just a fancy tool, but a measurable revenue driver. We don't just deliver reports. We build automated workflows and data structures that let your team focus on what they do best: closing deals and growing the company. Whether you need to untangle a Frankenstack or build a scalable RevOps engine from scratch, we provide the technical depth that traditional agencies simply can't match. We believe that marketing should be a science, backed by clean data and seamless integrations. Ready to see what a high-performance revenue engine looks like? Let's take the first step together.